You were known as Spank Horton.
Yes.
Where did the name Spank come from, and is that your real name?
Childhood nickname from the Rascals. Spanky was the little chubby white kid, but in our neighborhood, you know, it was like a little crew. We was young and we used to be running around. They said I was the one with the big mouth, so they made it seem like I was the leader. And they started calling me Spanky, and that's how I got the name.
And this is back in Philly.
This was back in Philly, back when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And the name just stuck. I dropped the Y when I got sexy on them. You know what I'm saying? I got sexy and dropped the Y.
Okay.
It's just Spank, you know.
So as a kid that was a loudmouth, in terms of how you just put that, were you like getting in fights a lot? Like, when did this comedy bug start kind of coming?
Definitely got into fights a lot, but I was always like the class clown though. Like, I think I won class clown every year that I graduated, from 6th grade graduation, 8th grade, senior year. I didn't graduate college, but I'm pretty sure I'd have got it in
You
college.
had siblings?
Hmm?
You got siblings?
Yes, I have 2 different sides. You know, you got your father's side, you got your mama's side. Father's side, I got about 5, 4 brothers, 1 sister. Mom's side, just my older brother.
Got you. Now, with you being this kid that was the class clown, how did your parents feel about that?
She was upset because I disrupted the class. So if you disrupt the class being a class clown, you get that phone call from home, so she
Right.
always had attitude with it. But over the years, I learned how to be a class clown and not be disruptive to the class, where I have the teacher laughing also. So I think I was working on this craft a long time ago.
Got you. Now, like, your mother, what was she? What was her, like, occupation?
My mother was she was a star attender. She was one of the first star attenders back in the day. No, she was a bartender, bartender, and she worked at the school during the day.
Got you. So this is school that you went to?
No, she was trying to come to my high school, but I said no, that's not going to work.
Okay. As far as your dad, was he in and out, or was he there? How did that
He
work?
was in and out basically because he lived in New York. I was born in New York. My mother moved me to Philly when we was about, I think, probably like 2. And my dad would just come visit when he could, birthdays, graduations, stuff like that. But we stayed in contact though.
Yeah. What kind of impact you think that had? Because myself personally, I didn't grow up with my father. He was out of the picture around 3.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever reflect on that as you got older, like the kind of impact that had in your life?
Nah, I think when I was younger, it impacted me because, I would go to games when I used to play ball and stuff like that. My dad was never there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once I got older, I realized, hey, man, I don't think I need him. Plus, I had a great stepdad, too. Shouts out to my stepdad out there.
Gotcha.
He looked out for me.
So what kind of student was Spank in high school, and did you eventually go to college?
Yes, I was a C student, and I went to Lincoln University, Black HBCU. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got kicked out of there, joined the fraternity. Yeah, They put hands on me, so that next line come through, put hands on them. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but that's what happened, and I got kicked out. Got kicked out of school.
So you can't just skirt over that. So you was in a fraternity, and what part of the hazing process was they put hands on you?
Yes.
Kind of like a gang kind of jumped you in?
Basically.
And then you did it on the next wave of?
Yeah, next week.
So someone ended up telling?
Basically. Somebody got hurt, hit the news. It was, you can Google it. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Bloody New Chapter. I think it was 1999. Yeah, 1999, yeah.
Okay. Now, in that incident of now being kicked out of school, like, what was your immediate response?
It was tough because I didn't even hurt the kid.
Wow.
I wanted to snitch, but I said, you know what? We all did it, so we all getting kicked out, so we just left. I just basically transferred to Temple University, but I was hurting for a good semester though. I was hurt about that.
So you went to Temple.
Yes.
That's the same school Cosby was president, or he
went
to Temple.
I think he went to Temple. Yeah, he went to Temple.
What was any stories were going on back then about his time there?
No, I didn't hear any.
Not those stories, but just because the answer he just gave, I don't know nothing about that.
Nah, I didn't.
Just in terms of his legacy.
Nah, I didn't hear anything about his stories though.
Yeah, what was what's Temple, what's the energy like? What kind of campus is that? Is that mostly black? Is it mixed?
Mixed, mostly white. Mm-hmm. Mixed, mostly white. But the blacks tend to stick together and stuff like that, but it was mostly white for sure.
Right. So in this time of being in school, are you doing comedy at this point at all?
When I was at Temple was when I first started doing comedy. Right after 2001, I believe. Yeah, it was right after 9/11. It was right after 9/11 when I started. Yeah.
Did 9/11 have anything to do with what made you
Nah.
transition?
Nah,
Okay.
not at all.
So what was it? What was the thing?
2000, I watched The Kings of Comedy in the movies. And leaving out the movie theater, a bunch of people that I knew seemed to say, man, when you go get on that stage? Because I was always told I should be a comedian since elementary school.
Right.
And I was like, that ain't for me. But my friend Kevin at the time was doing comedy.
Gotcha.
So I did have a friend that was doing it, but I still didn't look at it as, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. Nah, I'm going to just play ball, go to college, and do what I do. That's all.
Right. So the energy of being a comedian to me has changed. At one point, you're kind of more reflecting on comedy wasn't taken as seriously as it is, I think, now.
Right.
People understand you can make money, you can make an occupation,
Right.
you can provide for your family off of jokes. It's a different energy. A lot of people trying to be comedians now. So back then, did you feel like it was kind of corny? When you looked at it, was it just something like, nah, that's...
I don't know. I just didn't look at it as an occupation, I guess. I didn't look at it as an occupation. I just looked at it as, hey, I'm funny right here, so I gotta be funny on stage. What's the difference?
Right.
Like, this one I knew I could be a comedian, though. I remember being in middle school, and I would say jokes in class, and it would travel around the whole school, and people that wasn't in my class would come to me, yo, I heard you said this and did this to the teacher or did this to a student. I'm like, how is that getting back to you? So I already had people like going back and telling people like how funny I was. So I've definitely been getting it a long time. But to go back to your other question, I think the transition, how I got into comedy was when I was at Temple and I was a theater major. And in theater majors, all dramas, all serious roles, but all the roles I got, I would make them funny. So the professor definitely said, hey man, you have a natural knack for comedy, you should try to do stand-up. I think that was the first time I got the click in my head to really try, because I looked at him as a professional, he was teaching us how to act, so he told me I had it, so that's what transitioned me into doing stand-up.
Now you and Kevin were friends then, you mentioned? Did you take it to him and say, hey, I think I'm gonna try to get into that?
I didn't even tell him.
Why?
I don't know. I always wanted to be the type where if I'm gonna get good at it, he's gonna hear about me. And that's what happened. Once he heard I was doing comedy, he called me.
Wow.
And he said, why you didn't tell me? I'm like, I want you to find out.
And what age were you guys at this time?
I was 22, and I believe he was 21. Yeah, I was 22, he was 21.
Y'all go back.
Yeah, we met probably 16 and 15. Our neighborhoods right next to each other. I used to be in his neighborhood all the time.
Was it an instant friendship?
No, we was just cool. It became an instant friendship when he dropped out of community college, and the friend that I went to Lincoln with dropped out of college his freshman year, and they got an apartment together. So I will always be at the apartment.
And I know that you say you played ball too.
Yeah.
Was like your dreams were set on going to the league?
Yes.
What position were you playing?
3 guard. Okay. I heard some chuckles going on in the studio. What's going on? We all right? We good? I heard some chuckles when I said, I was a 3 guard. Yeah. I had dreams and aspirations of making it to the NBA. Yeah, I wasn't good. I admit to it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Kevin was playing ball too.
Yeah, Kevin was playing ball.
He played in high school.
Yes.
I don't know if he went to junior college. With the college he went to, did he play?
No.
Okay.
He wasn't that good.
Okay. So between y'all, who
I was by far better. By far. Yes.
Okay.
My high school, my senior year, we was ranked number 15 in the country. Yeah. Bunch of D1 players on my team. I wasn't one, but my teammates were.
When I think about like Philly in the 2000s, I think about State Property, that whole era. Philly always had this temperature of like like you got to be tough.
Right.
It's got some hood aspects to it, for sure. It has some hood. Like, what was the crime like when you was growing up and when you were coming up? Was it bad? Did it ever get close to home for you?
Definitely. Probably had a gun pulled out on me about 3 times at my young age.
Just on some random?
One was on random, one was a robbery, and the other one was, we was throw rocks at cars and shit. And we got his window and he pulled over and hauled ass out the car after us, and he caught me. He just showed it to me and said, what's wrong with you and let me go or whatever. But yeah, it was some tough times growing up, but
How much do you think that has impacted the man that you are today?
Not too much. Not too much. I'm the type, something happened, I didn't get hurt, let's move on, next day, let's go.
So.
No PTSD over here, I'm straight.
Okay. From what I understand, the Laugh House was a hub in Philly.
Yes.
Was that like your spot that you became to start building the Spank Horton name?
Yes. The Laugh House is where I first got on stage at Amateur Night. After my professor told me I should try it, I was just on South Street. That's like a famous street in Philly where everybody go out to hang out. So I was on South Street and I walked by the comedy club, and that's when my friend was saying, man, why don't you sign up for amateur night, stop playing. So me and this other guy, we both signed up, and they said, yeah, come back next Wednesday. I came back next Wednesday, then been doing it ever since. I don't think I took a Wednesday off for open mic. And then from there, I started hosting around the city and stuff like that.
In terms of that era, like, who are the comedians? Because let me just lay this up. Like, your major comedy cities are Chicago gets a lot of love. Atlanta gets its love. Philly is mentioned. Los Angeles is also there.
New York.
New York, of course. Around that time, who was coming up in Philly?
Who was coming up in Philly around that time? I would say the names that was making noise was D. Lee, because he was on Power 99 FM. D. Lee. He was on the morning show in Philadelphia with Wendy Williams. This is before Wendy Williams got real big or whatever. Matter of fact, he say, it might be true, I'm not sure, but hey, what she say? The slogan she said?
How you doing?
How you doing? He actually was the first one to be doing it on the morning show with her. And then she took it and
kept going with it.
Yeah, that's one of the things out there. I just want to let y'all know that's going around in Philly. But the world knows now. I'm a snitch now. God damn, I'm a snitch. Oh, boy.
So again, like who, like other people?
D. Lee, Teray Gordon, Javon Pearson. He did Def Jam. Javon Pearson did Showtime at the Apollo. Ronnie, I can't remember his last name. Ronnie Long. Ronnie Long did Def Jam. His name was hot and buzzing. B Flat, she was hot and buzzing. She's not from Philly, but I think she went to Temple also, and she was living in the Philadelphia area, so we named her like a Philadelphia comedian. B Flat was making noise. I think that's about it. Anybody else, Lawrence, you think? In Philly? I know, but man, it's family, baby.
We can cut it. We can cut around it.
You ain't getting on the camera, but you know, put your name on.
When
and of course, Kev was buzzing.
Right.
Michael Blackson. I forgot about him.
Michael Blackson.
He's one of the reasons why I kept doing stand up. Yeah, Michael Blackson actually seen the first time when I signed up for open mic. He was there. He was at the show. So you figure this is 2001. When did the next Friday come out?
About that time.
About around that time. So he was buzzing. I forgot about that. Wow. He was buzzing. So he was at the show. When I got off stage, I thought I did good. He came to me and was like, hey man, you got it. He said, you ain't funny yet, but you got it. And I was like, I didn't understand what he was saying, but now as I got older, I got it. He said I had the stage presence, had the charisma and stuff like that. My jokes was terrible probably to him, but you know.
What were you joking about?
I joked about, my very first joke was Cleo. I was like, man, Cleo not real. How she ain't tell us them airplanes was coming to the towers for 9/11? That was my first joke.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought it was, you know. But
it's pretty like,
yeah.
I
Michael Blackson was like, yeah, it was ass.
He told you it was like ass?
No, he just said you wasn't funny, but you got it. Like, I didn't understand at the time when he said it, but as over the years, I definitely understand what he said.
With him being at that stature,
yeah,
I'm sure that wasn't the last time you would see him.
No.
How was that exchange? Was it kind of like a big brother, or was it kind of like two separate people?
It was kind of like a big brother because I opened up for him for a few times. He's the first person to get me on Comic View. Wow. He called me and said, hey, Comic View asking for some new talent. I told him about you, give them a call. I gave him a call and I did Comic View probably after like 8-9 months of doing comedy. I did it with, in Miami. I think Arnez J was the host.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel when you got that call?
I thought I was a star. I was like, oh, I'm about to blow up. I'm here now. I'm doing comedy 8 months. I'm on TV. You can't tell me nothing.
Now, around this time, all this stuff is happening, 2001. What's going on with your friend Kevin's career? Like, where's his stuff at that point?
I believe Kev called me and said he just did a movie with Jay-Z. And I ain't believe him. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that movie was, what's the name of that movie?
Dynasty.
No, Paper Soldiers.
Okay.
Paper Soldiers. He did the movie Paper Soldiers, and then the bootleg got around in Philly, and I watched it. I said, "Wow, this dude really in the movie with Jay-Z. That's crazy." So he started bubbling. That's when he moved to New York and started working on his craft up in New York.
Yeah. Little Boosie, right? He has this perspective about rappers coming up in their city, and he advises them to leave that city.
Right.
Because naturally the hate kind of comes with it as you're rising.
Right.
What was going on with Kevin's career as he was rising to Philly? Were people starting to hate on him and treat him differently?
Nah, I don't think he got a lot of hate. Not from my perspective, I don't think he did. From other comics, he did.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he definitely did. He definitely from other comics.
And it was like overnight?
They feel like it was overnight because they've been doing it for probably 10 years and he already doing TV and movies and stuff like that. So yeah, he definitely got hate from other comics. I'm not gonna say their names, but he definitely got hate from other comics.
Right. What do you think made, like, in seeing like Kevin's trajectory, what do you think he did differently than the people that are around him that he was gonna surpass them?
I think it's a thing with black comedy where you can make some money doing the black rooms. In the white rooms, the mainstream rooms, not making no money. And it's like a bringer show. A bringer show is where you gotta bring 5 people just for you to get on stage. And they might give you a meal to perform, you know, at the mainstream show. So I think a lot of black comics look at it as, man, I'm not gonna make no money in there and I gotta bring people, I'm funny. So I'm gonna go ahead, do this black room, get this couple dollars and go from there. I think everybody's staying in that one little, what do you call it? Little circle, it's like a little black circle you have. And I think Kev said, nah, man, I'm bigger than the black circle. I'm going out.
It seems like more like a comfort level.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You go to who you know. You want to kind of stay in the same place.
Right. And
you don't move sometimes. You kind of just stay where you're located.
Right. And I know comics who said, I'm only funny to black people. I just want to make black people laugh. I'm like, word? All right. You got some small goals there, brother.
So what's happening back as Kevin goes to New York? You're still in Philly.
Yes.
And where's your career at that point?
My career is still just hosting shows in Philadelphia. I'm traveling back and forth to New York. May do some shows in DC, Baltimore area, stuff like that, in the local area. I'm still just hosting and I started doing a lot of colleges early too though.
Got you.
Because I was in a fraternity, I went to a black college, I used to visit all the colleges. So a lot of people like knew me from different colleges and they would recommend me.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of paralleling a little bit of like what's happening with Kevin's career because eventually you guys would find each other again.
Right.
So 2006, 7. Do you know what's happening? Because I think at this point people are really knowing the Kevin Hart brand.
Right.
What's happening in your career in those?
In my career now, 2006, 2007, I think I've done Comic View, I've done Coming to the Stage, and I think I was auditioning for the morning show, the radio. When I was telling you how D. Lee was on there, I started auditioning for the show. I had my own night in Philadelphia at the Laugh House Thursday nights, we sell out every week. So I had athletes coming, the Sixers, the Eagles, had rap artists like Beanie Siegel came through a couple times, the Young Guns, State Property. So my name started buzzing. I started hosting the AI had a night in Philly.
Oh, wow.
I used to host his night. So my name was buzzing in the city at this time. My name was buzzing. Yeah.
And I do want to make note in 2004, Kevin would land Soul Plane.
Soul Plane, okay.
And that's when it's crazy because when I saw Soul Plane, I didn't so much to think about the person starring in it.
Right.
I more so took in the movie because Snoop was in it, all these different people. And so I didn't really take in like Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Because what they say is you got to kind of see something 3 times before it sticks. Like that's what I've heard in sales and marketing. So I think that was my first time seeing him and it was cool. And then I kind of didn't think much deeper to that.
Right.
Now, I do want to say, I think when you start noticing it more, I remember he got Scary Movie 4 in 2006. And then he would go and get Fool's Gold. And that would kind of also help put him on the map.
Yeah.
There was a backstory in regards of Katt Williams was originally supposed to get Fool's Gold.
True.
So when these things are happening, when did you eventually get, like, who called who? When did Kevin and you say, you know what, come out west.
Right.
And come be with you.
I think I got the call in maybe 2006, 2007, around that time. Naeem also went to Temple. That's where I met Naeem at, who's also a Plastic Cup boy.
Gotcha.
We started working together, and he was always opening for Kev, early on. When Kev would do a college, he'd bring Naeem with him. So him and Naeem was working from the beginning. And I think at this point, Naeem got a call from Cedric Entertainer. And he started opening up for Cedric Entertainer.
Right.
So then Kev was like, oh man, like you gonna work with Cedric, but at the time, Cedric was,
That's the king
Cedric
of comedy.
Entertainer. Right. So Naeem said, well, call Spank, man. Y'all cool. Have Spank open up for you. So Kev gave me the call, and the first show I did with him was down here in Atlanta at the Uptown Comedy Club for the weekend.
Got you. And it went well, or?
It went great. His road manager, Nate Smith, shout out to Nate. His road manager seen me, gave me his card, like, hey man, yeah, Kev said he likes you, go be working with us, so give me a call so we can set up all the dates and I'll let you know all the dates and stuff like that. And then went from there.
Wow. And then at this point, do you realize like what's happening? Because ideally your career is now gonna be impacted as well.
Right.
Did you kind of have like, oh damn, like I made it moment, or how did you process that? Because it is your friend, so
right.
it's kind of like.
Yeah, I didn't look at it as I looked at it as a good business move. I looked at it as, okay, I'm with a famous guy now, so more eyes are gonna be on me because I'm opening up for him now.
Right.
So I started doing comedy clubs, but at this point, Kev still wasn't selling out comedy clubs.
Right.
Like Thursday it'd be a little empty. He may sell out a show or two Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday be empty around
Right.
2006, 2007.
Right. As far as like when things are like moving for you guys, and then eventually at what point did you notice that maybe he had arrived when he is selling out all his shows? What year was that around?
I'm gonna say when the Shaq All-Star dropped. When the Shaq All-Star dropped, and we started doing theaters. We went from comedy. Matter of fact, I know exactly the time. I can't remember the year, but we did the New York Carolines. We did Carolines, and he sold out, I think, 10 shows. And that was like unheard of back then. So we sold out like 10 shows, and from there, we jumped into theaters. I think that's when we realized he arrived.
Right.
I think I want to say 2010, 2009 maybe.
Was that the most that you made in terms of your career at that time, money-wise?
Money-wise, no.
Okay.
No, I think the most I made was when I was on my own because, like I said, I was doing a lot of colleges. Colleges was paying very well.
Right.
I was doing ski trips. They was paying very well. I had a whole system. Like during the week, I would do colleges. Thursday, I had my own night I was hosting. And then weekends, I would do ski trips and I think it was like crab feasts. Like I had a whole line of where I was doing pretty well for myself at young comic.
Now,
Bought my house in 2006. Let me go ahead and drop these bars, man.
go ahead,
Come on, man.
Because there is one notion, right, where, and this is kind of like starting getting into what's happening today. One notion is that I talked to Naeem a few years ago, and I pretty much asked him, like, did he feel that he was in Kevin Hart's shadow? I want to relay that same question to you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a shadow, but it's not a bad shadow to be under, you know?
Right.
Like, because under the whole Kevin Hart umbrella, we've done a lot. I mean, we got a radio show, we got a car show, I've done a couple commercials with Kev, like internet commercials, but you know,
Right.
it was still a couple of dollars, you know what I'm saying? So we eating pretty well over there, so I don't have a problem with being up under the umbrella.
Right.
But I do think I don't get, how can I say? I don't get the recognition I think I should have.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I am like one of the best comedians out there. Like, that's just how I feel. I feel like I'm one of the funniest guys out there.
Right.
But I don't think I get that recognition because I don't never see myself in the top 10 up and coming comedians and stuff like that. But I don't have a problem with it. But I don't think, I do get the respect from the other comics though, my peers. I definitely get
Right.
that.
In terms of like even hearing that, you know, is there reflections of like, do you need to reposition yourself?
Right. I definitely do. I definitely do need to reposition myself.
What does that look like for you?
I
How
finally
does Spank stand out?
Right. I finally got management, so now I'm auditioning more. I'm coming up with my own projects, and I also pitched a TV show 2 years ago. It got picked up, but it got dropped when they saw the first episode.
Okay.
But I pitched it. I did good. The network bought it, so I felt like, you know what? I'm somewhere. I'm close. I'm close.
Yeah, because the thing is I think you're in an interesting position because the goal in any craft is to go to the top.
Right.
And you're clearly a part of that top because you're with the guy who's considered the biggest comedian in the world.
Right.
But the part of that is, what about your own personal brand?
Personal brand,
That I
right.
think you have to maybe, I don't know, what's happening mentally because you are at the top, but it's not off your
Off of my
merit.
brand, right? My merit, right? I look at it as this was my system that I had going. It was gonna be opening for Kevin Hart. We branded the Plastic Cup Boys name. Then we're gonna start doing the Plastic Cup Boys specials. And from the Plastic Cup Boys specials, I was gonna try to stand out more and then start going solo.
Right.
That's my whole process of it.
Does Kev encourage that?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
For sure he encouraged that.
Okay. That's good to know because it is that thing where I wonder if I'm sure he's aware of that. I think everyone with the conscious is aware of,
of course.
the magnitude of a star and then what happens to the people kind of around him.
Right.
So that's good to know that he is maybe challenging you to want to like, yo.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Got you. Speaking of the Plastic Cup Boys, who's the funniest in that? And who are the Plastic Cup Boys for officially?
Right.
For people to know, then I'll ask that second part.
The official Plastic Cup Boy, I think it's about 9 of us, but there's only 4 comedians.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought Plastic
Right.
Cup Boys was like comedians, but it's
Yeah, it's 4 comedians. It's
Got you.
Kev, of course, me, Naeem, and Joey Wells. It's 4 comedians. And then you got the entourage, I guess you could say. You got Wayne, who is Brandon. You got Harry, who's the writer. You got John, who's the barber. You got Boss, who's the trainer.
Right.
You got Quan, who's the photographer, videographer.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. That's right. Dope. Quan, I think his name is on IG. One of that.
Yeah, Dope Quan, Dope Pics.
Dope Pics
something
Quan,
like that.
something like that.
Am I missing somebody? I think that's it. I might be missing somebody. My bad. I've been drinking.
You mentioned Naeem and
Yeah.
all of yeah.
You said who's the funniest?
In terms of the comedians, the 4,
Yeah.
who's the funniest?
I think I'm the funniest, and I think Kev's the most known. That's my
Fair.
opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Fair. Has
Naeem's
there been
might
any-
be different. Joey's might be different. Who knows? But my opinion.
Has there been any debates like that amongst like who is the funniest amongst you guys?
Yeah, we had. Well, not really. We challenge each other though. It'd be stuff where at the end of a show, I have a bunch of people come to me and say, "Hey man, you was the funniest of the show tonight, man. Kev funny, but man, you funny as hell." So I go back and tell Kev, "Hey man, yeah, a lot of people told me I was the funniest on the stage." He said, "Yeah,
Right.
it was 10,000 people out there. How many said it?" I said, "Ooh."
What was the goal of creating the Plastic Cup Boys? Like, what is it supposed to represent?
It just happened. It just really happened. I think one day we was in a club and we all had, the red cups in our hand because, we'd have them in the green room. And then, Kev will host an after party. We'd go to the after party. We all still had the cups because we'd go in the back door. So you look around the club, we the only ones in there with red plastic cups. And out of nowhere, I think Harry coined the name like, man, we the Plastic Cup Boys. And it just go from there. I mean, of course, it start from drinking. And I'm like a junior alcoholic. I admit to that. I'm a junior. I'm not a senior. I don't think I'm gonna become a senior. I'm gonna stay where I'm at this level.
Right.
And that's it. It's just about drinking and having a good time with your friends. That's what the Plastic Cup Boys is.
Now, a few years ago, Katt Williams would take a shot at the Plastic Cup Boys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now, I want to lightly touch on him and Kevin's thing, but this was the first time I heard Katt kind of maybe take aim at you guys specifically. Right. He had a quote that went on to say, you wouldn't know that Plastic Cup Boys if they all came in together wearing plastic cups.
Yeah, that was funny.
He said, after referring to them as the Paper Cup Boys.
He said they don't drink out of paper cups. We drink out of some type of glasses or something. I don't know.
Right.
I actually ran into Katt after that.
Okay.
Yeah, in Philadelphia, Beanie Siegel had a show, and Katt was in town, and he came to the show, and it's Philly. I'm there.
Right.
I came to the show as well, and
Right.
he pulled me to the side. We had a little talk. It wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing major.
Did he keep that same energy?
He kept the same energy, but he was saying it's just like it's joking. It's like it's jokes. It wasn't like he came looking for me or nothing like that. It ain't like I came looking for him. He said, yo, Katt on the other side. All right, whatever. And then Katt came to my side, pulled me to the side. We talked a little bit, and that was it. We actually went on stage together, actually. Because I actually met Katt years ago. I opened for Katt a couple times, matter of fact.
Wow. Yeah, because I've heard good things about Katt in terms of how he treats like other comedians.
Yeah.
So, in knowing that, what do you think his problem is with Kevin?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think that's what frustrates Kev, because he's like, yo, what is his deal with me, man? But from the outside looking in, I look at it as it got to be jealousy. Because I feel like Katt felt like he was there, and Kev was on the come up, up, and then Kev just passed him.
Right.
That's all. But it wasn't Kev's fault that he passed him. It's your own fault, brother. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, there was actually a quote you had put up, kind of addressing this Katt Williams thing, and I'm gonna read it real quick.
Was it Twitter? Oh boy.
On Instagram. There is no comedian beef. It's just comedians talking shit about a comedian that's on top, and they feel some type of way. That is all.
Yeah, there's definitely no beef on Kev's side at all. He just don't understand why. Because he look at it as Dave Chappelle showed me love, Chris Rock showed me love, all the greats showed me love. So why Mike Epps and Katt Williams coming at me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but you know, he don't understand it, but it's all good. Like a lot of people come at him for no reason. Like I can name some names who met with Kev to talk to him, to get, you know, some knowledge, to work on their game. And then after they left the meeting with Kev, they start talking shit about Kev. It's like, come on, bro, what are you doing? Like, what is all that about, bro? You came and met with me, have a convo, and then you go off and start talking trash about me. That's weird, man. That's
I
weird.
think it comes with the position.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like it just comes with the territory of just being the guy. Like everybody, they said he's got the crown, you know.
Right.
Jay-Z got the song most kings get their heads cut off. Just in terms of it just comes with the territory.
Right, that's true too.
It's not even personal, I think.
But why on black though? Why black?
We're
Why we like
competitive.
this? Yeah, we definitely competitive. I
And
agree
I
with
don't
that.
mind. See, I look at competition differently because I just quote like Forbes. They talked about competition helps drive the industry. So I like competition.
Right.
So I don't look at it like a thing of I'm trying to down somebody. It's just to me it's just part of the nature of like wanting to excel at your craft. Like Jordan was a competitor.
Right.
Same energy I tap into.
Yeah, but they're going against each other. I don't think Katt and Kev is going against each other unless they have the same show, the same night in the same city. That's the only time you really. But that would probably never happen though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
When it comes to that, like you said, Kevin's probably focused on a million other things as opposed to what someone has to say, how someone feels about him. Do you see any resolution? Do you see what do you make of that? Do you think it's gonna always be an issue with Kevin?
Yeah, it is. As you said, he's on top, so he's gonna always get it. If it's not Katt, if it's not Mike, it's gonna be somebody else. You know, that's coming up in the game. That's just how it is. You know.
Do you feel underrated?
Yes, for sure. I definitely feel underrated. But I think my time is coming. It's coming. It's definitely coming.
What does that look like in terms of when your time is coming? Like, how does that?
I'm working on my own hour special. I already know I'm gonna land a movie or a TV show for sure in the next 2-3 years. I know that for a fact. I just believe in myself. And yeah, I'm gonna separate myself at a time, but I'm still always gonna be a part of the Kevin Hart brand. It's just, you know, that's family. Like,
For
you know what
sure,
I'm saying? So
for sure.
there's gonna be times where I'm torn and he's torn and I'm off. I will still tour with Kev.
Right. When I think about like your career and even like you're transparent too. I went to your show the other night and you talked about your recent divorce. How has that process been? I think Gary Owen has his fallout was public too.
Yeah.
His divorce, and his wife requested $44,000 a month. Was the conversation.
Woo!
So, like reflecting on that, how much do you want to give your audience that part of your life?
I definitely want to always give the audience the true me. So it's going to be a conversation that I have with my ex-wife about. She already know I'm going to have jokes about it because I had jokes when I was with her. So she already know we're going to have jokes. The good thing is me and my ex are still best friends. So we still talk. We're still cool. We're cordial. You know, we got a daughter together, so we still hang out with my daughter and stuff like that. Do a daughter day with the parents or whatever. We're still close. We're cool. So I don't think I'm going to have a problem with anything that I say because I'm not going to be disrespectful, but it's just going to be my truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have a conversation with yourself about that? Like, do I need to joke about this? Because some people may skirt over that.
Right.
And kind of like, keep it to themselves and, hey, this is a private matter.
Yeah.
But did you have that conversation? You said you had it with your wife, but what about with yourself?
Yeah, I had it with myself. I said, hey, man, you're the guy that's open. You always like to talk about everything, so just let it out. Just make sure it's funny, though. Let's make sure it's funny.
How do you make divorce funny?
Being true to the situations that happen to make you get a divorce, And we outgrew each other. We was with each other for 20 years. We was married for 8. Like I got a joke saying we was married 8 years off and on. It was really on, but off would make it funny. Like when was you off? I was off on weekends.
Yeah, divorce is not easy. It's not a laughing matter.
Right.
Even like breakups, like even a breakup with like a girlfriend.
Right.
I've been through that. That's not easy to deal with.
Right.
So how are you healing or moving forward when it comes to divorce?
I pretty much, know what happened. I know what the situation, what it consisted of and why we broke up. So I just take it lightly. Like I'm not an emotional guy though. That's one of the reasons why we broke up too, because I'm not an emotional guy. So I don't know, I just move on.
Why do you think you're not an emotional guy? What part of your life made you non-emotional?
That I don't know. I went to go see a therapist to try to find it, and he couldn't find it. Like I ain't have no crazy childhood. Like I wasn't touched by no uncle or nothing. I wasn't bullied. I was the bully. I just always find humor in everything.
What about your kids? Do they bring emotions out of you?
My daughter, yes. My daughter brings emotions out of me, for sure. My son, nah. But my daughter definitely do.
So there's emotion there, it's just maybe.
Yeah, it's there. It just rarely comes out, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Naeem said it the best. He said, brother, I don't think you ever had a bad day. And I really don't. I don't have bad days. I really have a good time. Like whenever something happened, I'm like, all right, it was meant to be. Let's move on.
Yeah. I think about back to your name, Spank, and there was also another comedian with a similar name, Spanky.
Spanky Hayes.
Was there any issues?
Yeah, he had an issue.
Well, he did?
Yeah.
How serious did that get?
I'm 6'5". I won't get that serious.
In terms of, was this like a text message? Was it a DM? Was it in person?
It was a tweet. It was a tweet, and I know what it was. It was basically because I told you I was doing a lot of colleges at the time. So I think he started getting phone calls thinking he was on the show. And that's when it really clashed when, I forgot who I did the college show with. A couple people like, yo, I thought it was Spanky Hayes. I didn't know it was you. I called him, said, seen like, nah, I'm not on that show. And then another time when it really came head to head was LA, was doing Chris Spencer room. I think he had Tuesday nights, or was it Sunday night? I forgot what night he had, but he had a night and I was booked on it and he thought he was booked on it. And he showed up and him and Chris was talking about it and backstage like, no, who called you? Like, why would you think somebody just put your name on the billboard without even letting you know that you're on the show? I think that's when it really got crazy for him. Because I wasn't even living in LA at the time.
Gotcha.
And he was. So I think that's when it really got a little crazy. So he made some tweets about it. I just was smiling like, hey, I'm busy working, brother. I don't have a problem with you, brother, at all. Whatever. If you got a problem with me and my name, fine. That's on you. I don't have a problem with that guy. But when I did Wildin' Out, audition, and Nick Cannon pulled me to the side after my audition and said, hey, would you have a problem if you're on the same show with Spanky Hayes? So I said, no, I don't have a problem with that, brother. He said, I just wanted to make sure if, we bring you on the show. So I bet. Bring me on the show. Spanky Hayes was on it. We was on different teams. We did a little square off, did a little jokey with each other. That was it. But we fine now, though. We fine.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Because he was a pivotal player when it came to Wildin' Out.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
him
and Nick is like good friends.
He kind of co-created it in a backstory way.
Right.
He helped be a part of that process. I do want to kind of move into like what's happening today's times. You're a father of how many children?
2.
2 children.
That I know of.
One girl, one boy.
1 girl, 1 boy.
Okay.
My son, 22, daughter, 15.
There's a conversation right now about like Lil Nas X and how he promotes his music and how he not even promotes it or just his brand in a sense.
Right.
And the debate is kind of like rappers like Lil Boosie take issue with it because they think about how that may impact their children when they see these things.
Right.
What is your reaction to that as a father of 2?
I'm the father, so, I teach him and tell him what's going on. Like, hey, that's him. That's how he feels about his life. That's how he want to promote his music, That shouldn't have to impact you. Like, if you like his music, like his music. You don't have to do what he does, So I don't have a problem with nothing that goes on out here in the world, Because at the end of the day, I'm the father and I have to teach my son.
Right.
Yeah.
He went on Lil Nas X would go to the Breakfast Club and he would go on to say this. I feel like, and this is them asking about the backlash bother him. I feel like I used to, but now it's just like, F your kids. We really get one chance to do this life, at least to my knowledge. I don't know what happens when we die or whatnot. So it's like, I'm not about to pander to your kids or you or like anybody?
Oh, wow. Hey, man, that's Lil Nas X. That's him. And I guess he got a point, I guess. You know, he don't have to parent our kids because he's not raising our kids. Charles Barkley said it best, man. I'm not a role model. So you just got to let your kids know. Like, I mean, even though they are role models because they're on TV and stuff like that, but you just got to, you know, teach your kids, man. Just got to let them know.
Do you kind of reflect it the same way about your influence that you do have? Because there are people that are looking at you.
Right.
In a lens of like, man, I kind of want to be what he's doing and do it like him. How do you reflect on your influence?
I tell them don't follow me on Twitter because I just be trolling on Twitter. Like I say outlandish stuff. Like right now what's really big is the whole vaccinated and the anti-vax. So I get on there and come at the anti-vax people. I come on there and come at the vaccinated people. I'm just a troll. So don't follow me on Twitter with my troll.
Right. And the big thing, I mean, of course, recently was Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
And her, like, I feel she was just genuinely taking some secondhand information and kind of, you know how we talk amongst each other. Like, oh, I heard this and conspiracies. And how do you take this debate? Like, where are your stance at it?
My stance, man, I just live my life, man. I let everybody else do them, man. I don't pay attention.
Because it's getting serious. It's the
definitely, it made the White House.
It's the new political religion conversation. Are you vaccinated?
Right.
And if not, why? And then,
I see myself as a trans-vaccinated person, you know.
That's a great answer.
I identify myself as a vaccinated person.
As far as like, when you look at your career, are you happy with how it's been going thus far?
Yes. Yes. I still wish I'd have had more, how can I say? Because when I was being on the road with Kev, you get sucked into his brand. Like, you know, you're traveling, you're on private jets, and you open up for in arenas and stuff like that. So you do kind of like lose yourself in your brand. Because when I came home, I should have been working on myself. But instead, I'm home relaxing with the family, the wife, the kids, getting ready to go back on the road to do some more arenas and stuff like that. So I feel like I should have put more work in with myself when I was home. But when you marry and got kids, you know, when you come off the road, you just want to, you know, give your family time. So I didn't have time to be able to do both. So that's why I think now, being as though, you know, I got a divorce, I think it's going to be more me time. And, you know, that's why I feel like I'm about to get from under that shadow. I'm going to always be up under the shadow, but I'm going to be known for Spank Horton as well.
Right. You know, Chris Rock, he decided not to attack his ex-wife on his Tambourine special. Did you kind of also have that? Will you make that decision to kind of, I think you already answered this.
Yeah, I'm not attacking my ex, not at all. I'm gonna say she's crazy though, because I'm crazy too. We all crazy. We all got a little crazy gene of business. You know, I'm gonna say stuff like that, but no, I'm not gonna attack her though. I don't want that alimony to go shoot up. You know, it might take me back to court.
Going back,
somebody ask for that 44 like.
On a serious note too, going back to Temple University. Again, I think about Cosby was a part of that. What was your immediate reaction to see him, one, going to jail and then being released?
Well, he got released because of a technicality, I believe. So, you know, it's all about the court system. Cosby.
Did you look up to him as a stand-up, being someone from Philly?
He was from Philadelphia, funny guy. The Cosby Show is the best show to me. It's the Cosby Show, then the Fresh Prince and Martin. Those are my three top shows. So I definitely looked up to Cosby, and I wanted that whole family around. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to get married, because of the Cosby Show. Wow. I wanted that dynamic with the kids and stuff like that, coming home to my family.
And then as far as like, as things kind of moved, I think Hannibal Buress became somewhat of a whistleblower.
Right.
With the joke. I mean, do you think he was at fault for lighting that up? How do we process that?
I don't think he was at fault.
Because he did it in Philly.
He did the show in Philly?
Joke in Philly, right?
Oh, wow. It might have been. I'm not sure.
He did the stand-up bit in Philly, because that's probably why he brought up Cosby.
That's probably why he brought it up, yeah.
And then it goes viral.
Right.
And then people start talking.
Yeah, because they Googled what he said, and I Googled what he said and saw, like, wow, I didn't know nothing about this. And then the women had a documentary. I actually watched the documentary. I heard the women speak, and I was like, Because at first, you know, I was like, I don't think Bill Cosby did that. That's America's dad. He wouldn't do that. But then when I heard the women speak, I was like, uh-oh.
Were you part of that conspiracy of like the whole NBC thing? Were you like that, like reluctant, like, yo, Cosby, no way?
Nah, and that was a myth I heard. He wasn't even up for buying NBC. I think NBC just got bought a couple years ago.
He actually was considering it with GE.
With GE, yeah.
He was trying to buy it with GE.
Right.
And so there is like some actual facts about him trying to acquire
Right, but
NBC,
I don't think that.
But I don't know if the retaliation part.
Right. So the NBC tell Hannibal Buress to do this and we're going to make it go viral? Yeah, I don't think that had nothing to do with it. I just think, like you said, it was a luck of a straw, and Hannibal talked about it in Philly, and it just went viral. Because I'm sure people Googled it. Because I definitely Googled it after I heard him do the joke. I was like, what?
Right.
What are you talking about? And it was right there, 2001.
Do you think Hannibal was in the wrong position for the joke?
No. I feel like on that stage, man, you got no limits. You have no limits. That's just how I am. Even when it comes to dark humor as well. There's no limits when you're on that stage because you're the creator. I can't tell you what to do and what to say.
Right.
That's just my opinion. So,
with him being someone that you were inspired by on your personal, and I'm sure it's your career, how do you view Cosby at this point? Like, how do you take him in? And knowing and seeing the documentary you just mentioned.
I don't think of it. Like, I mean, I'm different when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I don't, like, he was never really a part of my life. Yes, I did look up to him, but if I'd have ever met him before this whole situation, I'd be like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I may would have asked for a picture. So if I was to run into him now, it'd just be on some, hey, what's going on? And I keep it moving. I was never that guy when it came to celebrities, though. I was never that guy.
Yeah.
Like I was around Allen Iverson at an early age when he was like the guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was never like a starstruck guy. When I see a celebrity, just give them a head nod, say what's up, and keep it moving. I was never influenced on my life on what their life did. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I respected what they did, and it may have molded me in a certain way, but what they did in their personal life really don't have nothing to do with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the same merit that you want people to judge you on?
Yes, I would love for that. Yeah, I would love for that. Yes. Don't judge my personal life. Oh,
Judge
man.
me in my craft.
Right.
You know, and so this year Cosby would end up getting released from prison. How do you take that in when he was let go? Do you think he's innocent? Is it you happy? Like,
No, I don't think he's innocent. I'm not happy. I'm not joyful or nothing. But, you know, it's another black man that came home, though. You got to count that. It's another black man that came home. But I wasn't joyous when he got released and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't think about stuff like that.
right. So Philly to Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's a transition energy.
Yes.
You're in the depth of Hollywood. I
Right.
can imagine you're seeing all these celebrities.
Yeah.
You're seeing I'm sure every layer of this beast. How has Hollywood treated you, being someone in your position and being someone from Philadelphia? Like, has there been times where Hollywood or someone kind of, played you to the left?
No, I don't think nobody played me to the left because I think they know who is to my left. I think they try to get close to me to try to get to him, but yeah, I don't pay that no mind though. I'm really different, man. I'm really different. Like, I don't let nothing bother me. Like, nobody never played me to the left. It's just genuine love when I go out. That's how I feel. It could be fake love, but I feel like it's genuine because it's only gonna be for a few minutes. It's not like I'm gonna be around you all night. Like, I got my inner circle, my close friends, and that's it. I definitely don't have time for new friends, I'll tell you that.
Okay. And I'm kind of gonna start wrapping this out. When we do think about in terms of everyone wants to be the top dog,
Right.
do you desire that for yourself in your career?
Yes, for sure. For sure. I want people leaving my show saying that, hey man, you're one of the top guys to ever do this. That's a fact.
Do you think, like, with the cancel culture, has that like bended how you even approach some of your material now?
No, because I still talk about everything. I don't have no sponsorships behind me right now either, though. I don't have no sponsorship money that will cancel me, so I still talk about any and everything. Now, I do hold back on certain situations where I don't really know of, because, I feel like everybody's still learning about the whole LGBTQ plus community. Like, we're still learning because the way we was raised, we didn't really know nothing about it. So I'm definitely learning and where to go and where not to go and stuff like that. Like I would never drop the F word.
Did you get caught up in the backlash? Some of the old tweets?
Had to delete them. I had to delete them for certain situations, like for the new TV show we did with the car show. We had to delete some tweets.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Other things, we had to delete some tweets for some things. So yeah, I definitely deleted them.
Growing up in your time though, right? Like, it just seemed like the comedy used to be so much more raw. When I think about In Living Color, Men on Film was like a complete like parody of gay people.
Right.
And really over the top.
Right.
And they was on national TV.
Yeah.
And now you see that now. I don't think something like that could exist.
No.
The way that it did.
Because back then, we didn't care. Now I think it's more of a sensitive and caring type world that we're living in right now.
What do you think our goal is as people? What are we trying to, a utopia?
I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to have equality, man, for everybody. Like how we want equality, I think they want the same thing. They want equality. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
So they trying to teach us, you know, what to say, what to do. I mean, I'm confused. I'm not gonna lie. I'm confused. Like now.
I will challenge a little bit of. I think it's a different. I think it's a different path to be black and then being gay. I think it's a different struggle. I know people try to.
Yeah, they try. Yeah, it's definitely a different
blend
struggle
that.
for sure.
And I think there's other layers. So.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to compare it. I was
Okay.
just the overall picture of equality. They just want the equality that we have. I'm definitely not comparing the struggles.
Right. In wrapping up, like you as a black man in entertainment, have you ever been approached to wear a dress?
No. No, I've never been approached. I probably won't wear one. I mean, I'm 6'5". I think I would
It
look
might
stupid.
be funny for some executive.
Well, it wouldn't be funny to me. I don't get it. I don't understand the funniness in a man wearing a dress, but you know, I don't understand why only black comics get that though. White comics wear dresses all the time.
So this is a new topic for our platform. It does seem from like hearing it out, it's somewhat of a buck breaking thing.
Right.
Potentially.
Right.
Whoever the powers might be, it's a thing of, let's just talk basic.
Right.
You as a black man, how tall are you again?
6'5".
So you're considered, can be intimidating.
Yes, for sure.
Walking through the door.
I've got that as a theater major at Temple University.
Like,
I was told this.
Whoa. Now, if you walk through with a dress, it's like, I can maybe, I'm less afraid of you.
Right, right.
I personally think it ties into a little bit of that when it deals with our counterparts.
Right.
You know, like how do they deal with you're more, it's lighter.
It's lighter. I see what you're saying. I definitely
coming through in all black versus you coming through with a dress. I
Right.
could take.
I could take
So
it.
I think it's a little bit of even how they market us. How do those viewers digest a black man in their home? If I'm in the middle of Indiana,
Right.
how do I take? So I think it plays into that space as well.
I get it, but
without
it's
going to conspiracy.
right. But it's 2021 now. Y'all still intimidated by this? Oh, that's funny. But yeah, but nah, I don't have no desire wearing a dress, you know. But I look at it as everybody. A lot of comics wore dresses. Don't nobody say nothing about Martin Lawrence and Big Mama House.
Yeah, and
Don't nobody say nothing about Wanda, Jamie Foxx. There's only Kevin Hart and what else they talk about? Tyler Perry.
They hold him. I think they hold him really. They hold him. That's one of his strikes.
Right.
That they use against him.
Right.
Is the dress conversation. I think what made it work with.
But he was doing a skit on SNL.
But see, you got to recall, he said he wasn't going to do it. He told us the same thing.
That's true. He definitely
And
said
I
that.
think it came off kind of random.
Right.
Like, why are you?
Yeah, why would you do it if you said you weren't gonna do it? Yeah.
And
I'm
I
saying it
think-
now. I'm not gonna do it.
He said the same thing.
I'm not gonna do it. Trust me. I'm not gonna do it.
All right,
I don't have
hearing
no
this.
desire in being funny with the dress on.
Yeah.
Or with a wig on, stuff like that. Well, I might wear a Tyler Perry wig, like a fake afro or something like that. That's still considered weird.
And
so I'm
I
not
think
gonna
what
say
worked for Martin and Jamie, one, it wasn't a conversation till Dave kind of made it.
Made it, yeah.
known.
Yeah. Right.
And I think they did it so much on a high level,
Mm-hmm.
it became more about the appreciation of that craft of what they were doing.
Right.
Versus someone that's not known for it, AKA Kevin, to
Right.
pop up in a dress.
Right.
It's two different. I think people received it just differently.
They probably did. But it's all good though.
In conclusion, sir,
Yes,
I appreciate
sir.
your time. This has been a great powwow with you. When we look at the name Spank Horton, what do you want that to represent moving forward and in totality of your career in comedy?
I want it moving forward as one of the biggest names in comedy. I want people to be able to appreciate my truth that I do on stage from my perspective. I don't want no one to get offended by my jokes. Like, they're just jokes. I'm not trying to come at you. These jokes that's coming from me is from what I see, you know? And I think if you're a fan of me, then you understand. But if you're not a fan and you hear something like that, I don't think you should be offended because you're not a fan of me.
Have you ever got backlash for a joke?
Yes.
What joke?
I got backlash for the, when I said I started making some money and I forgot that I was a black man because I moved into a white neighborhood. And the joke was basically on some, because we do come at each other when it comes to blacks. I was like, yo, you ever go into a bank and it's a black teller? You'll be like, I'll wait, because they're going to be all about my business and stuff like that. I'll go to the next teller because that's a white teller. Then from there I had, when I was on my steps, I saw a moving van moving in on the block, and I was like, oh, we got some new neighbors moving in. And I noticed, like, oh, they black people. I hope they lost. Like, is they moving in? I said, oh no, they moving in. So I went to my white neighbor and said, do you see these niggas that just moved on the block? And then the white person go, another nigga family on the block? And I'm like, who the first nigga family on the block? And I'm like, oh shit, that's me. You talking about me. Let me get on out of there. I got a little backlash on that. It was
Amongst
a
our
little Facebook.
people?
Huh?
Amongst our own folks?
Amongst our own folks. They were saying, oh, you forgetting who you are. I said, that was the joke, that I forgot who I was. But the punchline, I realized I was still a nigga. Didn't you hear the punchline? Like, oh, I'm the nigga fan. You know what I'm saying? It's like they didn't get it, but it was a little backlash.
For that to kind of stick with you, like, did it bother you that you was getting that?
In a way it did, because I'm like, yo, this is me. Why would I ever want to come against my people? Like, y'all know me, I'm just being funny. Like, y'all took it the wrong way. But a lot of people take jokes the wrong way as well, though. So now I'm at the point where, hey, man, if you took it wrong, that's on you.
For sure.
You got to figure it out, bruh. Joke comprehension.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Mr. Spank Horton.
Yeah.
This is your first one-on-one. Well, I've interviewed you in the past,
Yeah.
but this is your first like official one-on-one with Comedy Hype. I'd like to thank you for your time.
Appreciate you, man. I'm out the hot seat now. Woo, got a little hot over here.
Oh, it wasn't too hot, man.
No, we was good, bro.
Thank you,
Appreciate
thank
you.